Shalom, Yasharallah. I want to bring forth some history. I want to look at this book called, this is one version of it, The Return of the Ancient Ones. It's something you can get online. I would suggest a lot of Israelites don't know anything about this information. They should be tuned into this. This is the original book. It's posted. Return of the Ancient Ones. A true history uncovered of the h.o.d.c, the h.o.d.c Empire, Empress h.o.d.c of the Black h.o.d.c Empire. The state of Louisiana was originally stolen and illegally sold as the Louisiana Purchase. The land is the stolen property of the ancient Black h.o.d.c Empire, the Ancient Ones. This is the h.o.d.c file. I want to look into this book and I want to share something with you tonight. First, it says inventors. It says this International Hall of Fame. It says this is procured by the Inventor Club of America, Incorporated. Honorary degree, Doctor of Humanities, Her Highness h.o.d.c Thaahwam Wachita Turner Gospel. Her relentless efforts researching the history of nations of the world and her treaties for the indigenous people known as the Wachita, work which resulted in the recovery of original territories and properties and recognition by the state of Louisiana and the United Nations. And this has a seal on it, make it legit. But I want to read from chapter 2 of this book called The Ancient Ones. Finding the missing link. It says, no, it is not given to mankind to tell the whole truth without pausing it up a bit to get the sound effect that suits his lying fancy, to mislead his readers. The lie spells Wachita, W-A-S-H-I-T-A-W dash O-U, let me read it right, O-U-A-C-H-I-T-A, Wachita. The Wachita Nation are a black, bushy-headed people, or woolly-headed people, like Solomon, who was black, and his head was bushy. Regularly you read Song of Solomon 1 and 5 and 6. His head, chapter 5, and verse 11. When the exploiters came, we were already here. I'm reading you again. The lies spell Wachita. So I said a lot of Israelites need to tune into this. The Wachita Nation was a black, bushy-headed people like Solomon, who was black. And his head was bushy, or woolly, or nappy. I recommend you read Songs of Solomon 1 and 5 and 6. I'm reading from this book, Ancient Ones, The Ancient Ones. In his head, chapters 5 and 11. When exploiters came, we were already here. The Most High created Adam. He was smart enough. Yes, he invented reading and writing, as his creator was a writer. Adam wrote the books of Adam. I don't know about this stuff. Genesis 5 and 1. Most High wrote the commandments on a table of stone when he wrote a pattern on the blueprint of how to build a mound for our people. Now this is where we're getting into what's real. He wrote a pattern or a blueprint of how to build a mound for our people. The mounds built by the Most High's blueprint is right here in the Wachita of the h.o.d.c. h.o.d.c. Dug a mound. See, to me it's saying dug a mound for the Most High. Dug the mound, yeah. dug a mound for Yah. Dug the mound, Yah. Exodus 20:20-26. As always, I must start off with Colossians 3:17. And whatsoever we do in word or deed, do all by Hashem, Mashak Yahushua. Give me thanks to the Most High and the Father by Hashem, Mashak Yahushua. So, I'm reading from the book. I'm not validating everything scripturally said here, but so far, pretty much on point scripturally, except for, Adam, writing the books. Okay? But as far as just historical information, take heed. So, it says the mounds built by the Most High's blueprint is right here in the h.o.d.c of Damanya. You see, Yah is in the name. It said, look at Exodus 20:20-26. Exodus 20:20-26. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for the Most High has come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that ye sin not. Don't break his laws. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where the Most High was. And Most High said unto Moses, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. From heaven. Right? That's why he sent the angel on the earth. He spoke to us from heaven, to the angel, to Moses. Exodus 3:2 proves that. Many other places. Verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where the Most High was. The Most High said unto Moses, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, ye have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. Ye shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall ye make unto you gods of gold. Don't make any kind of god of silver or gold. An altar of earth, here go the mounds. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep, and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewed stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. So it says, neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Meaning, that's why the Most High let you know that you ain't supposed to be praying naked. Most High said he didn't want us to make steps, so when we go up the steps, he can see our nakedness. That's why he made our breeches to have a pouch for our shoulder to go into, so he don't see no nakedness. While we have underwear and so forth, Most High ain't dealing with no you being naked before him. That's what he just said. Don't make no steps. You go up the steps, you're going to see your nakedness. You don't want to see that. So, but the main thing I was here to show you that, the reason I was given, because it was a blueprint to make mounds. That's what they call the mound. Yeah. And the largest pyramid is where? In the world. Most people don't even know. In Mississippi. How about that? Mississippi. So let's read on. It says, now a little sick, half-starved, Diego couldn't by no means pilot a ship. Diego, listen, in fact, that was not his name. See Columbus Log. So Columbus Log is in this book. Most people have never seen Columbus Log, but it's in this book. I have it right here. Just what he wrote as he was coming to the shores of Central America. Say, see Columbus' log. I do not want to take from an innocent child. All I want you to digest is the fact that Pedro el Negro, or Peter the Black Nigger, was the pilot or navigator of the Nina, the lead of Mr. Columbus' ships. A brother, Judite. That is why the word nigger doesn't bother me. I take one G out and I have Niger, or the missing link, has always been there and always been here. Black. Still nigger, because you look at, because even in Acts 13:1, they call them all nigger. You look it up in the Blue Letter Dictionary and go through the voice and see what it says. It says nigger. Y'all trying to make it say nigger, but it says nigger. You can change the I sound to a long sound, but it's not a long sound, it's a short sound. So it says all men came from a black pair. However, the most educated would rather teach a lie that he came from a monkey without explaining who made the monkey. The white lies about the missing link stinks. What Columbus did find was a city of black people who fed him and gave him gifts. I'm going to read it again. What Columbus did find, and this is in his logs, this is in his records, so anybody got anything to say about it, the records are right here. His Columbus logs are right here in this book. What Columbus did find was a city of black people who fed him and gave him gifts. That's why my 12 tribe chart says indigenous. We read about the indigenous. What Columbus did find was a city of black people who fed him and gave him gifts, gold and cotton cloth, which they, the blacks, had manufactured. I can imagine his surprise. So, this is a mystery to a lot of our people. That's why when I look at the Spirit of the Most High gave me, Isaiah 48:1, hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Most High, and make mention of the Most High power of Israel, but not in truth, nor in righteousness. So we gotta look at that. What he found here in the shores of Central America were black people. Listen, it can't be no clearer. She don't know anything about Israelites. This, that, and the third. You didn't hear it mentioned. But she know that the connection between Solomon and the fact that the Most High told us how to build these mounds, and they're called Demania, has a connection. But we, as Israelites, can put the connection together. This is all it is. Listen. Let me read this again. The white lies about the missing link stinks. What Columbus did find was a city of black people who fed him and gave him gifts. Gold and cotton cloth, which they, the blacks, she emphasizing this. The blacks, so you don't have no misunderstanding of what he found, how the people looked when he came here. The blacks had manufactured, and it got pictures here of the people that's black. I can imagine a surprise. What in the world is that skating across that water? A big fish? A skip? Or what? That must have been the question. Men, black. Where are we? Back in Africa? You done heard all your life. He thought he went to India. Where are we? Back in Africa? This is from his logs. Where are we? Back in Africa? That must have been their reply. Our imaginations can play with us on the reactions in 1492 AD. The real truth is in Columbus' sea log. See that? The real truth is in Columbus's sea log. That's in his book. A man, black. See? Let me show you. Come on, Leonardo da Vinci wasn't the first artist now. Come on, we can draw. He had people there to draw to bring this forth. Pietro el Negrito. That is Peter the Nigger. The pilot or navigator of the lead ship came on deck to take control. No one bowed to the sailors as history tells us. Of course, history can say it the way they were pleased to write, as it was his story, as I always say. Not our story, but his story. It would have been much easier on all of us if they had just written the plain truth, like Columbus wrote it in his sea log. Here it goes. This king who was black, read it again. This king who was black did not come to a common ship. Admiral, he begged Columbus to come to him. Say, I ain't coming to you. I'm the king, you gotta come to me. Mind you, he was black. I mean, I gotta emphasize it because that's what's written. This king who was black did not come to a common ship. He didn't come to no common ship. Admiral. He begged Columbus to come to him. And this city was a factory that made cloth from cotton. They gave the hungry sailors food. See facts from his log with map drawn for or by Columbus in his own words. Why did history lie? It was his story. And he told his story as he wanted the reading public to believe it. A lie goes or runs a long time according to folklore. But finally, the good old truth overtakes and boxes its ears. All you gotta do is read Columbus' logs. The truth is the real missing link in the his story taught to our children, black and white. When the truth is left out, history becomes a lie, a whitewashed lie. That is where the statement, little white lies, came from. His story, his lie. The missing link is the discovery of America by Mr. Christopher Columbus. This discovery is filled so full of lies. If you would try to eliminate some of the lies, there would be no discovery to read about. The links have been left out of the chain of discoveries to make a sound effect that makes good reading. A white lie does not make it a righteous lie. This white lie is worse than all black lies that have ever been told. This lie is a white man's lie. His story. I read from the book, The Ancient Ones. The white woman was not writing then. They were not allowed to sail or discover then. Mr. Columbus was not a stranger to black men. He was from Spain and got his knowledge of the sea from black men. The black Moors had ruled Spain for 900 years prior to 1492. The admiral on the lead ship was Pietro el Negrito, or Mr. Peter the Nigger, as he was called. Even then, that is the reason why the word does not rock my boat. Even a stupid person would know that a little, even a stupid person would know that a little sick boy named Diego did not navigate the lead ship. He was undernourished. He had no mother, forever on the go, half starved, and looking for someone to finance his father's voyage. Just a moment. Don't go nowhere.